Appreciate your taking the time. What about this idea of raising taxes on everyone? The math actually in this case is much more promising. It works much better.
Right. I heard your lead in on it, and you said this is a new idea floated by Howard Dean. Actually, it's not a new idea. There are several Democrats that have floated that for a while. You'll hear kind of the code word for it is we want to go back to the Clinton tax rates and talk about the Clinton economy, that we had a much more vigorous economy and growth, and we should go back to the Clinton tax rates. What that really means is all tax rates on all Americans go back up, because the tax rates were brought down in 2001 and 2003. So it's not new, and no, I don't support that. I don't think that's a great idea at all. I think it'd slow down the economy.
All right, and you know what? The truth is, when you look at economists' evaluations, it would slow down the economy. Raising taxes right now on everyone or some people, whatever some people that was, it would. Okay, there's no question about it. But if the problem is that we have a lot of debt and there has to be some pain, whether it be in cuts or the form of higher tax revenues, that means there has to be some pain. I mean, look at the math. $2.8 trillion to go back to the Clinton-era rates. That's 17% of our debt wiped out overnight. If you're worried about the debt, how can't you look at that seriously?
Well, the reason I would say that it's actually not going to be 17% of our debt on that, because right now we're running a $1 trillion deficit every single year. Now, if we went back to zero, we're at balance and we're taking that on. That's true. But right now, with the fourth year in a row that we have over $1 trillion in deficit spending, that deficit and that debt continues to climb. So it doesn't really wipe it out. And the challenge of it is what does that do to the overall economy? We're not just dealing with one tax increase right now as well. And a lot of people lose track of that. The Affordable Care Act, the first tranche of the taxes actually begin on January the 1st as well for people making $200,000 or more.
Right, it's also
or for people that have large medical bills.
Right.
So that already starts coming up. This is talking about an additional tax increase on top of that tax increase.
Okay, but what about what Bill Clinton said? He said once things start to get better, and that's a crucial point that he was making. He wasn't saying doing it right away. Once the economy starts to get better, taxes do have to go up on the middle class. Do you agree with that?
I don't, actually. And the reason being is that right now, if you look at the real math on it, in 2007 and 2012, we have the same amount of revenue. Now, obviously, 2008 and 2009, we had a dramatic drop in federal revenues coming in, but we've slowly climbed back up. Kind of the dirty little secret is revenue has gone up every single year of the Obama administration, and now we're at historic highs, the same as we were 5 years ago. The difference is our spending has increased $1 trillion from 5 years ago, but our revenue is the same. You go back to 2007, our deficits were only $100 billion.
Right? I mean, it's the payroll tax cut extension, which your party supported, right? It's extending unemployment benefits. It's things like that. It's the war.
Right, and that's going to be the challenge of the whole perspective right now. We've got two philosophies. One is saying we're spending too much. That's hurting our economy. The other one's saying we're not spending enough. That's hurting our economy. So there's obviously the last 4 years has been more of a focus on spending more to stimulate. I'm not sure that's going to work long term. If we continue to pile up more and more debt, we've already crossed 100% of debt to GDP. I don't think that gets better as you get higher.
Right, but your line of thinking, see, the only thing that confuses me about it is I feel like we end up in a situation where all you do is keep cutting taxes. You start to have a revenue problem, right? You give a tax cut to the middle class, you don't want to take it away from them. You give a payroll tax, you don't want to take it away from them, right? So that you keep giving out things and you never take them back.
Well, that's the same thing we deal with on all the spending side. The stimulus spending in 2009 was intended to be a one-year anomaly. The problem was it wasn't a one-year anomaly. That was actually added into the baseline, and all those agencies, all those individuals keep receiving that same amount of money. So that one-year stimulus spending is now stretched into 4 years of stimulus spending, and it is headed into its fifth year. So we're dealing with the same thing. That is the challenge of this.
But intellectually,
we really are in an impasse in philosophy.